partner, the person of Engineer Chinedu Eze. He was the first person that was called up, and he happened to our call, and he anchored the first TMiT, and since then, we have not looked back. We have been moving on since then. This is a night series, and when we looked around of the pressing needs or the pressing challenges that are facing us as career person, as job seekers, as business owners, and also as families, we discovered that there is need for us to be able to be coached and inspired by somebody that can fine-tune us mentally, so that we should be able to carry on in this in this fast-paced environment that we find ourselves. Things are moving very fast. Things are moving in dynamic speed, and for you to catch up, you need to be, to be inspired. You need to be coached. Your mental well-being should be in order so that your goals and aspirations will be met. It's very important. We looked at that, so we came up with the topic that we have today: mental health and business. That's in the 21st century, talking about hustle. Every day we talk about hustle. You ask somebody on a Monday, said, I'm hustling, I'm going to hustle. Somebody tells you, oh, I'm going to hustle my 2K, my daily pay. I'm going to hustle for today. I'm going to hustle, to just like Cubana. I'm going to hustle so that I can be able to, spray money the way it happened in Oba. All these things we need to meet up with or catch up with. It comes back to us mentally and physically. We also have situations whereby a lot of job seekers are out there. The statistics is not funny. When you look at the statistics, even as an undergraduate, you'll be scared to graduate because of what we are coming, the army of applicants that are out there in the battlefield is scary for a new recruit of an applicant. So you need to prepare yourself. You need to be coached. You need to be mentored. You need to be inspired so that you can stand out from the crowd. It's very important. And from our, when we looked around and, scouted for the best hands, we stumbled on no person but Dr. Charles Itua. So we are having him today to, I'm not in his handout. He has a lot he has packaged for us. I'm not going to preempt him. He has everything that he will, release to us. We encourage us to take our time, listen to him, then prepare our questions. It's going to be an open-ended discussion so that we should be able to take as much, questions and responses from his lectures today. So at this point, I would like to welcome Mr. Collins to give us a brief welcome note. And while he's doing that, Dr. Charles Itua will be preparing to take the mic. Without much ado, I'll hand over the mic to Mr. Collins Opera, who will just give us a brief highlight before Dr. Charles comes in. All right, Mr. Collins, are you there?
Yeah, thank you so much, Moses. It's an awesome day, and everyone is coming back from the challenges of our time. And if a friend of mine chatted me up hours ago today, and he called out from Belgium, and he asked Collins, so how far? Waiting day. And I said, all is well. It's just that we're trying to sort out all the news and everything that is coming out of Niger media. It's getting everybody crazy. As we speak, everybody is in a hurry to meet up now. The pandemic, before the pandemic, the 2016 recession threw a lot of people into debt. And after that, as the country was, everybody was trying to adjust. It's not as if the country was returning back. Everybody was readjusting in 2018 and in 2019. And in 2019, we started hearing about what was happening in Wuhan. And a report was sent that, in fact, it was Professor Ndibise Kekwe that wrote something on LinkedIn saying that the world is likely going to shut down. Frankly speaking, I didn't take that serious until it began to happen in December. And then in April 20, because Nigeria took it for granted, in around April, early April, Nigeria started shutting down. And you know that Nigeria as a country, we amplify every problem. The world just hands it to us and we amplify it. We know how to make a problem bigger than what the world even sees it as it is, So it created a lot of problem for our country, and a lot of people began to have various kind of illness. You see people having headache, but you think it's just malaria and typhoid. Frankly speaking, it's broke headache, man. It's mental headache. It's business issues. It's everyone going crazy because the business is just not happening because your customers that you have sent product to, and they are telling you this is the reason why they can't pay. It's not even stopping the banks from chasing you. Everybody is running helter skelter. The prices of food is going up. CPI index has gone up above 30, but today it's doing about 21, hovering between 17 to 21. You can imagine that when the CPI index and the inflation itself is doing 70, what it means is that if you had 1,000 naira before, some few months ago, it means that your 1,000 naira would have lost like 17% value. Meanwhile, food items has gone up 21% on value. So it's a crazy thing for everybody. So what the hub has tried to do today is awesome. Looking at opportunity for us to discuss this particular issue and see whether there's a way we can get out of it. And I want to say welcome to Dr. Charles Itua for what he has been doing on LinkedIn, inspiring people who are trying to change their career, people who are looking for young minds who are looking for better careers. And was saying, let us even begin to talk about not only careers, let's begin to talk about business people too, who are trying to, I mean, everybody saw what Obi Kubana did, and all his friends, and it's almost getting a lot of people crazy because he's changing the narrative for a lot of people, and how is also, and I think that's also going to create stress and mental health for a lot of people. So how is that going to play out for all of us? So we're going to be listening to Dr. Charles Itua. We are going to be asking our questions, and some of us are also going to be discussing our own instances. I'm happy to see the people that are here. I'm particularly happy for a very um, long time. I mean, Kennedy, we haven't connected for a very long time. I mean, I don't know how many years now, but Kennedy is here. Whatever, a lot of experience to share. I can tell you this. Chinedu is here, Joma, Ngozi, Ogi, and all. And there are people who have called that they are struggling with the network. I don't know what is happening today, but I hope that we're able to sort that out. So, welcome, Dr. Charles. Welcome everyone that is here, and I'm sure we're going to have a very good day.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Collins. Really appreciate that little introduction. And also, I want to remind us that we are live on YouTube. Maybe you need to share that in your platform. We are live on YouTube also. And even after this program, we'll have these events, we'll have it on our YouTube channel. So I'll also encourage you to go to our YouTube channel, like it, and also put on the notification so that you get inspiring videos and contents from us. We also share our social media handles so that you can also follow us on social media. Without wasting much of your time, at this point, I would like to invite Dr. Charles Itua to, take over the mic and let us proceed. Dr. Charles, are you ready?
Hey, I'm ready.
Okay, if you're ready, you can have the mic and the floor.
Okay, welcome everybody. I'm happy to see you all. Mental health is a really important topic, and it's very mandatory that we, have platforms so we can have interactions like this. So this is a very good opportunity for us to learn and for us to be informed about how we can better take care of our mental health and be more productive and more adaptable in society. So the topic of today is mental health and business in the 21st century hustle. So we all know from based what the speakers, what the moderators have said, we all know how important mental health is. And in a country like Nigeria, Nigeria is absolutely, it's quite tough to live in Nigeria. But well, we only have to try regardless of the prevailing situations. So which is why we have conversations like this, where we can talk about topics based on how we can better take care of our mental health and provide solutions to the uncertain time that we are living in. So to go through the presentation, we'll talk about the 6 ways to reduce stress. So 6 ways to reduce business stress. So we all know that when we are trying to take care of our business, we are going to work, we are leaving our houses by 5 a.m., sometimes 6 a.m. I even hear sometimes some career professionals leave their houses by 4 p.m. By 4 a.m., sorry, 5 a.m., 4 p.m. So we have situations like that happen. So getting on the road, beating the traffic, it could be very tough sometimes for most career professionals. But there are ways around it that we can actually reduce stress. And these are tips that could work. So remind yourself of what is going right. So this, regardless of the situation sometimes that we face, regardless of the negativity or regardless of the challenges or the problems, we just have to remind ourselves that things are going to get better, especially in Nigeria. We all know how the current situation is. There's high rate of inflation. There are certain instances where prices of things are very high. So these are the things that lead to business stress. But reminding yourself of what is going right would give you a more opportunity to look at the positive side of life. So always remind yourself that it's going to get better. It's definitely going to get better. No problem. No change is going to happen. Things are going to get better eventually. We'll continue to grow. We'll continue to make changes. So these are the things we need to continue to remind ourselves. Have a positive mindset and affirm it to the universe that we want things to go right. This is the way we want things to go. So let's work on it that way. So prioritize time so you won't experience burnout. So even at work, even when you are busy at work, it's important for you to prioritize your time, even when you are at home as well. So you want to have a to-do list. So if you have something that you are doing, maybe you start, maybe you get to work by 5 a.m. Maybe you have by 5 a.m. You get to work by 7 a.m. So during that work period, just prioritize your time. Maybe 30 minutes for relaxation and meditation, maybe a few hours for work. You take a lunch break. Then after that, you just be shuffling between taking breaks and working. So you're actually taking in a lot of positive energy while trying to maintain a good schedule at work. So keep your environment neat and tidy. We all know that the future of work is now remote, right? So we are working remotely for you to keep your environment clean. Even when you're in the office, keep your environment clean. This helps to reduce stress. So you know you are able to better articulate your things, your thoughts. You're better able to navigate your space, and you're able to be more congruent, and you're able to be more at peace with your mind. So practice breathing and meditation often. It's important for you to breathe in and out, most times. Always practice meditation. Ensure that you are keeping your mind in check, your body and soul in check. You're having a positive mindset. This reduces anxiety, stress, and worry. So focus on helping other people to get better. So regardless of what you are going through, regardless of the negativity, regardless of the challenges, regardless of the problems, always make sure that you are also helping other people. Because even Obi Kubana, from the guy that was on social media, you found out that he helps people even when he goes through his own challenges, but he tries to lift other people as well. So it's important for you to people and show people that you care by spreading kindness. So take action because your mental, your life and health matters. So if you are feeling stressed, if you are feeling anxious or worried, take action. Speak with someone that you can trust, someone that can connect with the right people. So this will help you in the long run. So there's a quote by Linda Poindexter that says, "One small crack does not mean you are broken. It means we are put to the test and did not fall apart." So meaning that regardless of the situation going on in the country, regardless of the negativity, regardless of the challenges, regardless of the various issues, always remind yourself that it doesn't mean what I'm going through will break me. Rather, it will help build me up and make me better so I can pick my pieces back up and mold myself back together. So, some nice simple ways to deal with stress at work. So, this is another dimension you can actually take. So it's important to start your day right. Maybe when you wake up, don't just look through your phone immediately. Maybe your alarm clock is set on your phone. Maybe your phone will just ring. You just put it aside for the meantime. Maybe do meditation, just pray, do a wellness check on yourself. So after that, after you're taking 5 minutes out of for yourself in the morning, then you can now start your day. You can check your emails, check your notifications on social media, keep up with your friends. That's after you've given time for yourself in the morning. So be clear on what you need to do. Ensure that you have actually put your mind on the fact that this is what I need to accomplish in the day. These are the things I need to do throughout the day. So I've already put my mindset that I'm going to probably work on this project or message this person or call this person up or have a business meeting or work meeting or plan a walk, with one of our colleagues, maybe a lunch with your colleague at work. So these are the things you do. Then stay away from conflict as much as possible. We all know that conflict is very normal in the workspace. So stay away from conflict as much as possible. Ensure that you are always keeping your mind steady and your mind in check. So this will ensure that you are actually staying away from things that will bother you. So you're not engaging yourself in conflicts. So because try to stay organized. Stay organized always. Ensure that you are keeping your space neat and tidy, that we said the previous one. So these are ways to actually deal with stress at work. Then be comfortable. Be comfortable at work. Ensure that you are always putting your mind to the fact that today's going to be a good day. Today's going to be a good day. I believe today's going to be a good day. So you keep on affirming it to yourself. So just stay comfortable that way. Try not to multitask. We all know that we are doing one thing here, we are doing another thing there. So try not to multitask. Always keep your mind in one task at a time. So get some exercise on your lunch break. So if you want to do exercising in your seat, if you want to do a little bit of stretching out. So these are the things you can do during your lunch break. So don't try to always be perfect. We all know that the only person that was perfect was Jesus. Jesus was the only person that was perfect. So you don't need to be perfect because we are already being made perfect just as we are human beings. So try not to always be perfect. So listen to your favorite music. Always ensure that you are, keeping your mind steady. So be happy and hopeful always. Always ensure that you're happy and hopeful. Things will get better eventually. We all know that there's a high rate of insecurity in the country. We all know that things are, very challenging now. But things will get better. I believe things will get better eventually. Things like this don't last too long. You eventually get better on the long run. So the impact of stress on the workforce. So we all know that the stress. We all know that stress is just normal in society. We all know that we are faced with challenges daily. But we have to always remind ourselves that even despite the negative things, even despite the stress, we all need to be reminded about the fact that things will get better eventually, like I mentioned. So, but we do need to talk about stress and how we can manage it better and how we can be able to cope with the stress. So there's what we call the impact of stress. So we all know that stress has an impact. And um, the impact of stress is measured on certain criteria. So an employee that comes to work sometimes, probably is stressed out sometimes, most times more likely to be absent. He may not come to work sometimes. Sometimes he stays at home because of the traffic situation, and the person just zones out and says, "Oh, I don't think I don't think this I can make it to the office today. I'm feeling so stressed out." So 10%, and I don't put 10,000, but it's 10%. But 10% is more likely to be absent. So they may not come to work that day. So the person just say, HR, my manager, I want to give you an attention. I may not come to work that day. I'm feeling stressed out. So the HR manager would understand, which is why you should always communicate whatever you are going through with your HR manager, your line manager, even your head of department. So likely to be job hunting. 50% to be job hunting because even when even when an environment is very stressful, most employees would like to change jobs due to the stress in that environment. So they're most likely to be job hunting most of the time. Most employees will say, because the situation of that work environment is quite toxic and it's quite stressful, I don't think I'll be able to continue, working there. So they will definitely say, I want to change jobs. So 20% most likely will be job hunting. They're less engaged. So even when they come to work, because of the stress of that environment, most of the time they may not be as productive as they would have wanted to be. So they'll be less engaged at work and there'll be a lot of stress. And less productive. So the chart just keeps on going higher and higher based on the different dynamics of the impact of stress on employees. And more productive with stress. So even when employees are productive, they still are stressed. So yeah. So a comprehensive healthcare plan can help employees maintain their mental or physical health at work. So it's important that when we have well, even when you're coming to work, there should be some health packages attached to your offer letter or attached to your employment package. So you should ensure that you are communicated perfectly with your HR, your line manager, that I want these are the things I would love to have as part of my employment offer. So ensure that you have a good payment health package that can cover your mental health, your physical health, even things like malaria or typhoid. These are the things that ultimately leads to someone being stressed, at work. So managers, human resource managers should encourage open communication in the workplace as well. So we all know that we want to come to work, we all want to be productive, but we are always could be stressed sometimes. So it's important you communicate to your human resource manager and your line manager, your managers, this is the way I'm feeling. So I would love to, have more clarity. So the goal is to take care of your mental health and let go of the need to always be in control. So the goal is to take care of your mental health. Not just release all form of control. Just release all forms of control. You can't control everything most times. It's important for you to remember that as long as you are not always trying to be in control, then you can better be able to articulate your mindset and become more balanced. So ensure that little things that you can't control, just leave it aside and focus on things that you can control, and then focus on doing what you can to make them better. So that's one way you can be able to combat stress most of the time. So mental health check-in during the coronavirus period. We all know that when the coronavirus started, as last year, there was a lot of uncertainties. There was a lot of, you know, uncertainty during that period. Nobody really knew that the coronavirus would certainly spread around the whole world, even coming to Africa, China, US, Canada. So the coronavirus has spread across so many nations. Nobody really expected that. So after that, we started going remote. And before we started even going remote, it was the lockdown. So during that lockdown period, there were a lot of uncertainties. A lot of people, people jobs, a lot of jobs, people lost their jobs, and people were laid off from work. And these are the things that caused uncertainties during that period. So as a result of that, we started finding new ways we could work. So we started going through Zoom, started working remotely, we started going through various discovering various ways we could work. So remote working became something of second nature. So it was normal. Well, the ones are practicing in Nigeria, we've not gone to the hybrid system of remote work because the tradition, the Western world to have a hybrid system. So most of our workers work remotely, others work on-site. So they've mastered it. But I think in Africa, put Nigeria as an example, they don't really master that hybrid system. So people are expected to shop in the office when they're supposed to shop in the office. Or they are at work, at home, working remotely. So these are mental health check-ins we can actually inculcate during this coronavirus because we're still in the pandemic period. These are things that have settled down much better now. So we talk about feelings, be mindful of the way you handle your emotions. So despite the fact that we're still living in uncertain times, we should be mindful of the way we handle our emotions. We should ensure that we're keeping our feelings in check and just put your mindset that I'm going to handle my feelings right, and I want to keep my mind in check. So ensure that you are able to manage your emotions, managing your feelings, you are managing challenges, you're managing various things that are pop up in your head. So this will enable you to be more congruent and it will enable you to be more balanced. So take care of the mind also. Practice meditation. Ensure that you are keeping your body in check, exercising if you can, taking a walk most of the time. Just come out of your seat, take a break. Even when you are working remotely, so you take a break, have a lunch break. These are the things that help you manage stress during that period, during this period. So get good rest and nice, relaxing sleep. So at night, ensure that you have a good sleep schedule. Maybe you sleep by 10, you wake up by 5, sleep by 10:30. Just schedule your time properly. So try to always be in control of your thoughts. You are enough. So always try to control your thoughts. Whatever you are going through, it should actually pass. You become much better. So always ensure that you are controlling your thoughts and that you are enough. So try not to react to everything that life throws at you and do not hurt others emotionally. So ensure that you don't hurt others, you try to control your reactions and you are putting your mind in check. And have an accountability body by your side. Have someone that you can always, talk with and share ideas with. So have a great year ahead and be intentional about your mental health. From based on what we said, based on what we've talked about, we live in very uncertain times. And most of these situations that happen to us, we are trying to find ways to control it and manage the situation. So despite the negativity, despite the issues in life, despite the challenges, it's important for us to always be reminded about the fact that things will get better. So we're living in 2021. This is a new year. So there are a lot of opportunities for us. So we have career seekers, we have job seekers out there who are looking for new jobs, looking for new, opportunities they can learn. We have people out there, students who have just finished school now, so they're going to start serving very soon. So regardless of the challenges, we always have to remind ourselves that it will get better eventually, and despite the negativity, things will definitely improve, and we'll definitely see a much more brighter future eventually. So just do what you do, be positive minded, and know that no matter what, things will get better. Thank you.
And,
Hello, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will take questions now because we have talked about the major issues. So I'll take questions.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've heard what Mr. Charles, the insights, the tips he has been able to dish out, because looking at the concept of the TMiT, it's all about the most important tips. We might not have the whole time to break everything down, but he has given us the tips that we require for mental health and business. Okay, from the things that he has been able to talk about from his slides and his statement, let's begin to take some of the questions that are bothering us, and Dr. Charles will be on hand to probably expand in some of the areas that we'll feel that we need to take home. Okay, I can open the floor by asking Dr. Charles. One of the key factor, one of the things that I was able to take out in dealing with this mental health, and business is one, meditation. Talking about meditation, this I believe is a very important aspect of beating stress. Even if we take it to to the Bible, just give me the opportunity. Let's take it to the Bible. Why Jesus was hustling and bustling with his disciples and doing all sort of miracle. He's always taking out time to meditate. He will pull out from the crowd, pull out from the disciples, and go to meditate. Now, bringing this home, looking at the kind of environment that we are, probably maybe I'm working in the VI and I'm living at somewhere in Yaba, that is, or maybe Ojolegba, that is very rowdy. Please, can you advise me on how will I be able to manage these meditation aspects? Because meditation calls for a quiet and a calm environment, and also my meditation, what the materials I will need. How will I where will I be able to meditate if my environment where I live is not conducive? Do I have any other option outside this? Please, can you just expatiate on that?
Yeah, it's quite possible that despite all the stress that we are going through, all the despite all the stress that you are going through, despite all the challenges that you're having on the road or where you are living, you can be able to take out time, like I mentioned in the slides, take out time for yourself. Even when you leave home by 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you are getting to the office, which is far away. When you get to work, ensure that you don't just start off right away. Just take some time out to relax. You've already gone through the stress of being on the road. So when you get to work, just take out time for yourself. Have a have a kind of like a schedule for your me time at work. Have a me time. So even when you are stressed, even when you are stressed on the road or you go through traffic, ensure that when you get to the office that you've taken out time for yourself. So probably maybe you do deep breathing exercises, probably take a cup of water, you probably just take a walk, around your environment. These are the things that would enable you to be more at peace with yourself, much more calmer, and eventually you would become less stressed. And this is just what I'm just thinking. You could actually take some tips out of that and you know fit it into um, what you can actually do. So, like I said, when you wake up in the morning, do meditation. Meditation is not just about praying alone, but you are trying to release stress and anxiety. So you are keeping your mind in check. You are keeping your body in check. You are calming your mind down. So you are breathing in. You are breathing out. You are balancing yourself. You are balancing your body. Eventually, you will see changes. Eventually, positive changes. Eventually.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Okay. Any other question?
Yeah, Moses. Can I say something, Moses?
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Good.
Collins. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm speaking. I'm going to ask this question as somebody who's also feeling the stress, the brunt, and I see a few people who could share one or two experiences here, and of course they feel the stuff and they stay positive. Of course, we know how as Lucas stays positive on the platform. We know Enina Ibe, and we also know that the CEO of TMiT is here. And a few insights. We need to hear from them how these things can be managed. First, I want to ask one, Enina Ibe, if he could help us talk about occupational and mental health safety. I mean, everybody is, like I said, is going crazy. I mean, it's always like an annoying thing. Um, Here, looking at the news, Nigerian news, looking at the social media. So, how do people need to, or how do they get to be able to stay afloat? Guys, how do you stay positive? Any naive? Could you help us? How do you guys stay positive, stay strong? IB.
Hello.
Hello, Ivy. We can hear you.
Good
Just a few
afternoon, great
insight.
guys.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, great guys.
Yeah, Ivy, you're always smiling as if nothing is happening. How do you guys stay positive then?
Okay, I came in a bit late. Well, I'll say what I do. Okay. One of the things I do that works for me is this. I understand one common thing that there is always a 5 minutes madness for everybody.
Wow.
That is one. And then I take it that at any point in time, probably the work gets stressful, or I'm getting angered by the activities of my colleagues, the way they respond to certain things. I need to calm down and understand that we don't reason together. There are different, we have our different mental capacities. Okay, that is one. And then two, I ensure that at each day, the work of each day is different from the one of the previous day. And that the challenges of today and that of yesterday are not the same. With that in mind, I have to prepare myself that, look, you're going to be disturbed. You're going to have things that are going to affect my sensibilities. So I have to prepare ahead of time that these things might not work the way I want them. And when I have that preparation, that mental stabilizing preparation ahead of time, I can cope with any challenges. That's what works for me.
Good. So I'm going to ask another thing. I don't know, you know, here in Lagos, there is not a day recently, there's not a day you move around, you don't see people fighting, quarreling. And when you get close to find out what the problem is, it's probably that the next person didn't say, I'm sorry for just scrubbing or scratching your body. You know, it's possible that somebody who even have made all this preparation for the day goes out on the way and with all his fine shirt and nice ironed and starched clothes, and somebody just comes to now want to misbehave. Now, are you saying that because everybody has 5 minutes madness, you just that period you just do the 5 minutes madness, or you try as much as you can to stay cool? How? What? Hi, Ivy, are you going to take that? Or we'll go to I go to the next question that I have. Okay, Moses, can I ask the next one?
Yes, yes. I think you should ask. I think Sandukwe is here.
Yes, that's why I said I want to ask the next one.
Okay, you mentioned. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let him have one of the questions. Go ahead.
Okay. Ivy is asking to be unmuted. Okay. Ivy, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Calling from what you asked.
Mm.
One, the action is not important. The thing that's important is your reaction.
That's fine.
The action is not important. It's your reaction that's important, and that is what determines what happens next. Okay. If somebody let's say a bike now scratches your car, and you come down, you scratch me, you must repay. Before you know it, 20 bike men will gather. And before you know it, at the end of the day, you will waste your time, you waste your energy shouting. And if it's not a safe place, you might be attacked. So if somebody stains your shirt, you look at it, there's nothing you can do. It has happened. And you don't have control over it. It has already happened. So just look at it. Young man, go. I'm okay. You see, most times we will go ahead, fight. There are fights that are not necessary.
Yeah.
Right. So it is your own, the way you prepare yourself that will determine what happens. Thank you.
Awesome. That's stable mental health. You trapped. Moses, I see Sandukwe raising his hand before. Okay, sir.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You're clear. Go on.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I want to chip in a few things I have been able to manage.
Okay, sir.
The first one is to avoid distraction. The second one is to anticipate problems. You just anticipate that there could be challenges, and when you see the challenges, you're already stable at that state. You know, what we're discussing now is somehow like when they say they are at a state of excitement. You know, the state of excitement is never a stable state, but you want to be stable at a level of excitement. Distraction is one key thing that can create crisis. So if you see distraction at any point in time and you avoid it, it could help you to remain stable. Another example I will give you is that there was a decision I made several years ago when I was starting my business. One was, if on the road you scratch my car, I will plead with you, even if you are right or wrong. The worst case is that I fix your car, even if I'm.
Good evening. Thank you for yesterday.
So either way, if we are wrong, we fix your car.
Yeah.
If you insist, I'll just take your car and fix for you.
Hmm.
It is usually very painful, but what is the cause of that distraction? The cause of that distraction is that you are leaving a bigger thing focus on a very small thing. And the moment you make that decision, I can bet you hardly would anybody scratch your car because you already have a mental state that whatever happens, you take responsibility. That's one. The second one is to take away yourself from your importance. I don't know if that will make any meaning. In other words, you say you are the MD of TMiT industry. What is special about being the MD of TMiT industry? It's the air. So if you get yourself as just one of those people who are working in the organization, after all, when you are mentioned as the MD, we are seeking your capacity to manage a situation. It is not about the position. It's about you bringing solution at that material time. MD can also do work with his two hands. He can also think. He can bring a spirit. He can ask for wisdom. He can ask for solution from subordinates. It's all about being the MD. So, but when you carry this air, I am so important. Why should this happen? It becomes an issue. After all, there's nothing special about you being the MD. It's just grace. So if you recognize this grace, it makes you realize that nothing is very special. The other thing I would say here is we attach too much importance to the things we struggle very hard to achieve. I have billions in the bank, I have millions in the bank, and you worry yourself about them. Just remove yourself from those millions or billions. You are just ordinary person. So you move around as if you have nothing. As a matter of fact, and that's why humility counts. My daughter asked me a question this afternoon. Why is humility so important in success? By the time I try to explain the importance of humility to her, I'm sure she will value it so much. So if you can take yourself out of what you think you are and live a life of simplicity, like they used to say, simple is beautiful. The most sophisticated set of people are those who are very simple. And why do people say so? Because they don't understand why, in spite of all the crises, they remain simple. And the last thing I would like to say is, if we recognize what the Bible has said, you should cast all your burden unto him and just lift the crisis and hand it over to the one who is able at all times to take it, and have that consciousness all the time to do that, I think we'll be better off. So most of the time, we are very particular about our self and our self-esteem, that we create bigger crises for ourselves. So for mental stability in the midst of crisis, I think the most important thing is, one, avoid distraction. Two, take yourself out of your relevance or what you consider very important. And lastly, work very hard to remove any air of pride. Be humble. Thank you.
Wow. This is just awesome. You guys are just making this session very, very interesting. Um, in fact, the very awesome one is take yourself away from your importance. Wow, that was awesome. And prepare for the world, just like Enina Ibe said. And Charles also said something like that. You need to prepare for the day. Then simple is beautiful. That's just the icing on the cake. I know of somebody who is always talking whenever there is one sort of argument and on platforms or whatever, he will just ask people, what are you building? So Azuka, how do you get to stay that way? You know, there's a lot of problems in the society, a lot of things. Even you're facing it, your factory and all the nonsense that you tell me that government agencies come to disturb whatever. But you still kept positive, and the question will always be, guys, what are you building? Zuki, how do you get to do that? What can you share for us? How can we just others learn to be less crazy about what's happening and stay mentally strong?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, good evening to especially my seniors in the house, Sam Dukwe, all the other people, everybody, good evening. I made sure to be part of this discussion because I think it's one of the most critical that we need to talk about, and I'm so glad that we're facing this. Not to repeat some of the things that Sam Dukwe has said already, let me just add a few perspectives. Collins, you asked the question, why do I always ask, what are you building? How do I stay like that? For me, one of the most critical elements is passion. You know, I think all of us owe it to ourselves to find what we are passionate about. If you find that space where you love what you do, it excites you on a daily basis, 24.5 hours a day. Anytime you think about it, your energy level rises. Be passionate about something. Let's not just pass through this place and we're just passing through. I think passion helps to keep us sane. You know, that belief in what you're doing and the fact that what you're doing is important. If it is important to people, definitely you always find positive energy to continue doing it. So passion works for me. I also have tried to train myself, and thank God for the kind of parentage we have, to be content. I think contentment is something else that a lot of people struggle with. And because they don't find contentment, they're always looking on the other side of the fence. They're always looking at the other person. He's driving a bigger car, he lives in a better neighborhood, his children go to a better school. I think we need to find contentment. If we realize that most of what we need, 3 meals a day, a bed to lie on, very simple things. You know, we will not be building this huge expectation of ourselves and putting ourselves under undue pressure. So I think contentment is critical. Also, I think everyone should try and know themselves. I wake up every day reminding myself of who I am. I don't let my environment define to me who Azuka is. I don't let what someone else is doing define to me who Azuka is. So I try to make sure I know myself. Sanduka talked about humility. If we are humble, we will tell ourselves who we are, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses. So, hey, everybody, brother, know thyself. Once you know yourself, you won't put yourself under undue pressure, and then you can pace yourself, pace the goals, the vision, the expectations that you have. Again, like a lot of my friends know, Collins knows, Catman knows, work and play. It's not all work, work, work. Find time to play. When I say play, I don't mean just being irresponsible. No, but find that space where you let go of the pressures of goals and targets and visions and all that, and just play, just be you.
Azuka, I know I like that a lot. Go ahead.
After work, to sit with people who are like minds, who would
Yeah.
have discussion on your level, or maybe above your level, if possible, above your level. They will expand your mind for you away from all those pressures and money and all that. So that
Yeah.
works for me a lot. I do that all the
Mm,
time. And then
yeah.
please, everybody should smile. Just smile, even to yourself. People just go through the day. The face is like stone. And that's what people see. The next man who scratched your car and is wrong, but you come down and from your heart, you are already smiling. The guy calms down and knows that, okay, this person is not coming with violence. And before you know it, at the end of the day, you guys exchange numbers and the guy says, you know what, I'm going to fix it. Or he tells you the truth, I'm so sorry, but this is this. How can we go through this? So let's learn to smile, even to ourselves. I think that's important. I also think we should focus on people. I think Sanduku has already touched on that. The people side, everybody's going through something. You're not the only person going through stuff. If you can only just try and see the other person's perspective, you would probably not go to war with him. You might even give him more from just seeing it from his perspective. If you are an employee of labor and you have staff, remember they are human. They are not machines. They are human. All of us at one point in time worked for other people. Let's treat people like they are human. There's a lot of animal behavior around us. We don't have to come down to their level and treat them like animals. Let's keep a positive energy, so that helps us to treat people as human. And then one of my biggest tricks is that once I drive out of my compound, everything I see around me, I take it as comedy. I take it like it's free comedy. When I watch the boss men drive the way they drive against traffic, shout, abuse, I just take it as comedy. It's free comedy for me. I'm not paying for it. And that helps me to just put it aside, laugh over it. And if it's one that touches me too strongly, like I said, I realize I'm talking to another human being. I don't see it from his perspective. I stay on a higher plane and I don't let anything touch my sanity. I think those are the few things that I have for now. Thank you.
Wow, that's so awesome. I'm so glad a lot of insights coming in and expanding all of the things that Dr. Charles Itua has said, and it's a good thing that is coming from practitioners, from people who have experienced all of these things. Let me also add something from my own perspective, something I have found very useful. First, Sanduke talked about taking away taking yourself away from your importance. I think it's so important. When you do this, of course, let's be frank. There are lots of people who will want to take you for granted and then want to even think that they have you know what I mean. They take you for granted, but just still keep staying on that, because there are still very awesome people who will understand what it means. And staying simple is also important. One way I look at some of these things is that, you see, a mistake is not a death knell. An error is not a death knell. So when people begin to not understand their space and not be contented, they tend to tell or overrate or overestimate what they can do. You get into something, you do it, and it's a mistake, something goes wrong, whatever. You learn from it. And when they ask you, you say, yes, it didn't go well, but I think it can still go well. It's probably I didn't do it this other way. But you find some people trying to keep it away, and they continue to swallow a lot of pressure. They hold it because the next person is asking, but how come you're saying this? And I mean, it's not jiving, it's not staying, it's not consistent with what we see in reality. So stay in it, fine, I didn't do it well, no doubt. And everybody comes. Some people will tell you, man, you're just like this. You're not even good enough. You're this. But there are some people who will come to you and say, look, don't worry. You understand? It has happened to me before. I failed how many times, and I stood up. But today, this is where I am. You understand? So it's one thing to just come out straight, be factual, be truthful about the thing. Nobody's going to kill you. Nobody's going to just say it as it is, so that you don't even lose an opportunity or for your destiny helper. You don't even lose an opportunity to look at good advices or to look at good. So you're just putting yourself deeper into the pressure, because the moment you tell more lies, you're going to go in telling more in order to cover the last of it. So I think it all goes to taking away taking yourself away from importance and staying simple. No need trying to put so much on yourself when you can. Thank you so much, Moses. I think I'm through with my 2 questions, and I've guided it to be able to understand it very well for myself. Thank you, Moses. Hi, Moses. Chinedu. Hi, Moses. I'm true. Except any other person wants to say something. But Moses, I'm true. Val, Dokan Resources, I can see you there, just in case anyone has something to say. Moses, are you there?
Hello, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed today's presentation, and I must be very honest with you. This is one of the best that is needed currently.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that of Azuka, that of Sandukwe, and most importantly, that of our presenter. What I just need to put up here, just one comment from me about our topic for today, is about those who are trying to start up businesses. The very first stage of your business, you will face a lot of distortion in your planning, in your thinking process, in your organization, and most importantly, in your sleep. Yes, if actually you want to bet that business successfully, it must take sleep away from your eye. I am saying this not because I don't sleep. I am saying this because it's what I witnessed. Most of the times, I had to stand up to stay from 12 midnight down to 3 midnight while I was trying to establish ETC food. What was I doing those periods? These are the period I used to analyze and fix most of the formation processes. Why must it be within the odd hours? Because within the day, I must attend to other customer needs. I must attend to other staff needs that needed to be attended to, particularly by my humble self. Then at the night is best time I collect the results, analyze it, and position it for input. What then happens when you are not mentally balanced to manage the shift in your sleep pattern as an entrepreneur? You find yourself getting slim. You find yourself draining in strength. You also find yourself being unable to do other social activities that ordinarily your friends would do. Reason being that you are having the challenges of time management, and is a mental destruction as a result of your effort to see that your dream come to life. So in comparing mental health with business growth, it entails that you study your behavioral pattern, you study your stress coping mechanism, and you also develop certain principles of what to do and what not to do. You must have heard a lot of people come to the circular and tell you if a man don't eat don't drink, don't smoke, then what does such person do? Yeah, the truth is that most business formators, inventors, business owners, most of them don't do these things. You can just imagine to hear that Sandupe takes only tea as a beverage. Then you see him alert and healthy. Or you can imagine that you, colleagues, our chairman, you take only beer. But that's what motivates you. That's what's helping you to cope in your mechanism. But if you are not able to study your behavioral pattern, you struggle with these things and it will tell on you badly. Then you begin to give up on little things that will need you to think and need you to fix it and come out straight. You find out that you will not be able to carry on. And that's why I found this topic very, very much interesting. Within my first 2 years of leaving paid job to making business, I lost about 20 kilograms. Yes, I lost about 20 kilograms. Nobody knew what I was going through. I was struggling with some of these mental induced tasks that only I can afford at that point because I don't have the needed resource to consult, to outsource. These are key things businesses and business owners must put into check. How about managing the mental depressions that come from the loss incurred in business? Yes, the very first manager I had in my company almost closed me down. In fact, I lost 75% of my capital for the error committed by my production manager then. It was a great distortion and a great depression moment, not for coping mechanism and support around and being in a cycle of healthy and thoughtful minds. Honestly speaking, I don't think I will have survived that moment. A total batch production was lost to negligence just because I left Lagos in the care of the production manager to attend to a business in Port Harcourt. These are mental distortions that can obscure your business growth. So if you don't know how to balance these thoughts, balance these health challenges, balance these thinking processes to manage effectively, it will affect your profitability. That's just a little I want to drop for young business minds that may want to take one or two from this section. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'd like to thank all the speakers and the presenters for all their wonderful tips. But just permit me to look at it slightly differently. I mean, all the tips, all the strategy for coping, they're all wonderful and good. But when you are under intense pressure, I mean, you're in deep, deep, deep darkness. You've invested all you have, sold virtually all your property, invested in a business, and that business completely tanks, meaning you're in a place where the next meal, it's not even assured. You pick up the Bible to read, to try and encourage yourself. You cannot even see anything through the tears. You play all kinds of motivational radio, motivational messages. But because you are so overwhelmed, I mean, your brain is not even comprehending anything, that none of those things will have any effect on you. Now, this is what I find. In all that, there's something about the human connection that transcends all strata. What do I mean by that? When you're in this deep, dark state, that all these interesting, wonderful tips, keeping a positive mindset may not necessarily help you. But if you have like a temporary safe, what I will call, permit me, a temporary safe refuge where you have trusted individuals that can understand that you're completely overwhelmed and sort of incapacitated, that they will become your support structure. And you will be lucky if your spouse can double as this for you. For me, you're in paradise. But if not, you have trusted friends, perhaps childhood friends. In fact, what I will say in addition is to invest in quality relationship, build quality, trusting relationships that when all hell breaks loose, that you are sort of incapable of intelligently making your own decisions. These people will carry you. For me, I find this as the most critical part of your, will I say, mental support structure for any individual, because there comes a time, with all the knowledge, with all the things, you understand that you should read positive things. You understand that you should have a positive mindset. You have made up your mind that I'm going to be positive, but you are completely overwhelmed beyond measure. And when you are at this stage, you will need trusted people to prop you up, to support you till they can pull you out of this kind of abyss, so to speak. So for me, in summary, if you're married and your husband or wife can be this support place where it's like a temporary safe refuge that can connect you and bring you out of this deep dark state where nothing works, good. If not, I will say make it a point to consciously build certain relationships that will come to your rescue at such a time as those. So thank you, everyone. That's my contribution. Collins, Chinedu, I'm done.
Yeah, can you hear me? I have to look for other platform. Can you hear me?
Okay. Am I audible?
Okay, yes, I'm going.
I just wanted to add.
So small and much. Mira, Your Majesty, Prince David. Mira, please let me know that I'll stop by the boutique.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to add one more thing. There is this thing I do also, and I think I can't remember, I think I learned it from my former boss. And it is for us to always realize that where we are as an individual at a particular point in time, it is safer and saner for us to realize that we probably cannot be in any better situation based on putting everything together. What am I trying to say? Again, it comes to contentment and humility. where we are today, where each person is, it is safer and saner to realize that you cannot be in a better place based on how your life has been coming, the circumstances you've had in the past, and the things you've been able to take advantage of. You probably cannot be in a better place. So there's no need looking at another person. Where you are currently is the best place you can be currently. Yes, ability to change the future is there, and if you make plans and work to it, then you can be where you will be in the future. But to be sane and to keep your mind clear, not jealousing anyone, not looking at where someone else is, we need to always realize that where we are currently is the best place we can be based on where we are coming from. That's, again, not looking across to the other side and believing that the grass is always greener on the other side. So I think that's one thing that's come to me, and I just thought I'd share that. Where we are currently is the best place we possibly can be. Our work now is to look at the future and plan to be better, but not to start jealousing the other man who is beside us because we think he's doing better. Thank you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I had to log in with another account. Okay, fine. So I heard what Ken said. I also heard what Asuka said, and they are awesome. So, how about Chinedu? They are not in anymore. The moderators.
Yeah, I think the moderators are having network not longer here. Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but it's breaking a little.
I'm having a little network hit, network stress, I can say. So we want to thank everyone. We want to thank Chief Ndukwe. We want to thank Engineer
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Can you hear me?
And all who contributed.
Yes, Chairman, we can hear you. Okay, Chairman is back.
Thank you. And pray for the moderators. Chairman, please go ahead. My network is checking too. Go ahead. My network is checking.
Okay, please mute, please. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Chair.
Okay, good. So sorry, I had network issues. I had to log in on my mobile device to using another account. So I listened to what Ken said, and I think it's awesome. Having quality relationship, having quality people around you, it's usually one of the best landing paths. And if you look very well, go and look at the lives of most people who are successful. They have very good, very quality relationship. Not only just the wives or the brothers or the siblings, they have friends they can run to and get back to when they need support. And this also gives a lot of emotional stability, because when you think that you have people who are going to support you, who are going to understand some of the challenges you're having, it gives you that stability, it gives you that insurance, those things that would those days I would say insurance cover me. That's what it does, so it's an awesome one. And Azuka went on, talked about the other things, and it's awesome. And this is 5:42, and the moderators, I seem to be having a lot of network challenges. I think we have had a very interesting conversation here. And what has made it very, very interesting is that we've had people from different fields, experts and people who have had these experiences from different walks of life, talking to us about these experiences. Enina Ibe is is a HSC expert, coming from that industry. You can understand that what he said, authority. Damdukwe is the CEO of Soulmate. We all know, some of us have had the stories live, and also there is a book. There's a book. We are supposed to display that picture. That book was written about him. If you look at that story, you understand what some of the things that he has said. Azuka is a manufacturer, is a product designer in, laser cutting, and of course, you know that one of those that was presented to have produced locally made car. That's the Azuka speaking, and then Ben is talking from the IOC perspective, and both an IOC perspective and an entrepreneurial mindset. We talk once in a while, and he looks at work-life entrepreneurship from a very balanced and consistent point of view, and some questions too that he would intelligently ask. So these things, and those are summing up and putting in a lot of flesh into all the things that Dr. Charles Itua has told us. Charles is a career expert, a career motivator, and he has done awesomely well for this. And we didn't expect that much, but this has been one of the best lectures for this particular period and for this particular kind of conversation we've had. I want to thank everyone. I thank the team of the Innovation Hub, the moderators. I thank all those who have joined this presentation. I also want to say a very big thank you to Dr. Charles Itua. It was a very short notice and really did a good job. Thank you so much. Anyone wants to add anything, you can say that. After this, it's going to be it's going to be freestyle. We can have open conversation, meet and greet. Of course, for the alumni, we know that tomorrow is the meeting for the alumni members. So and it's going to be an Ungwari meeting. It's a comeback. It's carrying, So we're going to look at ourselves again. And one of the things that we try to do in some of these events, it's not that we're going to have been having very serious meetings. We'll come there, we'll argue constitution, argue all sorts of things. But what's that going to do for us other than increasing our mental stress? But we said, let us have activities to bond ourselves. So now we're going to defeat the COVID. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, is going to resume. We're going to resume all of the activities for ourselves, and we're starting tomorrow. So also inviting those who are non-food, right? Come in and see how we do this thing and see how we beat stress too. Dr. Charles, we're inviting you too. Slim Balogun Stadium, if you're in Lagos, just I can see Jido for Jimatech. I'm sure we're going to see you there tomorrow. Sandy, if you can make it to please, if you can't make it, just draw rain.
I agree to. Good evening, everybody.
Can somebody unmute Sandukwe? Okay, Chairman, thanks for your comments. I really enjoyed this section, and I just want to ask, when are we having the next TMiT Hello?